Hello friends, in this video I'm going to tell you how to create a table in MySQL in its workbench. So if you didn't install the workbench on your system, I have made already a video on that, so you can find the link in the description. So once you install, just open the workbench and now let's connect the MySQL server. To connect the MySQL server, you have to click on this, and when we click on this we need to enter the password that we have used while installing the MySQL on system. So just enter the password. So when we enter into the workbench, now guys, on the left side you can see schemas. So schemas is basically our database in MySQL. So if your workbench do not have any schemas, then you can create a new schema. So I have already 3 schemas here, and by default there is a one schema as system sys, which is by default schema for the workbench. So now we are going to create a schema from here. To create a schema from here, you need to click on this cylindrical icon and now name your schema here. So when we click, let's name it, and let's name it like order. Fine. And now click on apply. When we click on apply, now you can see that this query will execute when we click on apply. So you can create a schema on workbench by just this query, or you can use the feature that available on the workbench. So let's click on apply. When we apply, the query will execute and our new schema will be created. So I have already made the schemas, and you can see in schema you will see tables, views, stored procedure and functions. So in tables I have already created a table here which is cricketers, and if you want to see what is stored in the table, you can click on this icon to view the table. So let's click on this. So cricketers table look like this, so you can see. So if you want to create such table, I'm going to tell you how to do that. So first of all, you need to select the schema before creating a table. So to select the schema, you just need to double tap on the schema to select the schema, which is a database, and once you select, the schema will become bold, as you can see. Let me zoom in. So yeah, you can see, so it becomes bold once it is selected. Now to create a table, now click on this icon. Let me zoom in, and yeah, can you see it? Yeah, so click on this icon, and when we click on this icon, now we need to name our table. So like I'm going to name it order. Fine. So our first table will be order, and now we are going to name our column in the table. So first sorry, so first column will be in our table is order ID, and its data type will be integer, because order ID will be in integer, so its data type will be integer, int, which is used for integer. And now we need to select if it is a primary key, unique key. Primary key is used for the unique key, or not null because we can't left it as empty, so we need to select this one. Okay. So after selecting this, now we are going to name our second column, which is customer ID. So it should be also integer, so its data type will be integer, and it cannot be not null again, fine, and it will be primary key again. Now let's the other column will be customer name. Fine, and it will be varchar. Varchar is used for the string. So string basically a word, English word, so which is used, so its data type will be varchar. So now we are going to select as not null because we cannot left it as empty. Okay. So now we are going to name another column which is order date, and it will be as a string. So let it as a string. So we are going to select it as not null because we can't left it as null. And now the last one column will be shipper ID, fine, and we are going to select not null. After selecting all these things, now guys, we are going to apply all these settings to our tables and all the names, and now we are going to click on apply to create a table with these columns name. Understood? So click on apply. When we click on apply, this query will be executed. So we can create a table by this query, or we can manually create a table by using the MySQL workbench features. So we are going to click on this apply button. When we click on apply button, the SQL query will be executed, and let's click on finish, and our table has been created. So let me go. Now let's project our table. So go to the order schema and click on this table icon, and as you can see, table is right now empty, so we are going to add value into it. So you can add data into it by just directly without any SQL query, or you can use the SQL query to enter the data into the table. So first of all, we are going to add one row by manually, and then second row will be we will add by the SQL query. So let's do that. First of all, the order ID will be 10248, and customer ID will be 90, and customer name will be suppose Anand Kumar, and order ID will be order date will be 2002 to 22, and month will be 06, and date will be 0402, and shipper ID, it cannot be null again, so it will be 3. Now we are going to apply this. Here. So click on this and just copy this query, because we are going to use this query to add another row, and click on apply, and as you can see, the SQL query has been executed. And now let's close this and let's see. So the first row has been added. Now we are going to add the second row by query. So let's execute our command SQL query here. So we are going to change the value here from here. So the SQL syntax for the adding the data into the table, which is insert into table name, and then columns name, and then values, and then columns value, rows value. So basically you have to add First of all, what is first column? So first column is order ID. So order ID in the second row is 10249, and second column is for the customer ID, which is 81, and customer name is Mohit Kumar, and order date is let it 12th June, and the shipper ID is 1. Fine. Now we are going to execute this command to add a row in a table. So click on this to execute our SQL query. So as you can see at the bottom, this console part, console part, the select, where it is here. So one row is affected, and as you can see our SQL query has been executed. Now let's see if the row has been added into the table or not. Let's click on this, and as you can see our second row has been added. So you have two options to add values or data into the table. You can directly enter the value here, or you can execute the SQL query. So which is the fastest way to add the data? So you will use. So you can use directly. You can add data directly into your table by adding just value here. So we are going to add value from here, and it is the easiest way. And we are going to name here, and the name will be Akshat Sharma. Fine. And date will be okay. And now shipper ID will be 2. So you can add as many as data into this table by using this feature. You just need to add value one by one row, and you can create a table like this. So yeah, that's how you can create a table. So if you want to see if the table has been updated or not, you can use the CMD as well. So let's go to CMD command prompt, and now let's see if we can enter from here. So it will not be recognized. So let's go to the MySQL directory. Go to the MySQL server. Let's go to the bin and copy this path. Let's open again and type cd and paste the path here, and just enter into the MySQL server bin directory. Now let's execute. Let's enter into the MySQL server. So MySQL -u root and password. Let's enter the password. Now we have entered into the MySQL server. Now let's use the order. The data has been changed. Now let's print the table. Project the table from order. So it is saying that we have to use capital uppercase letters. Select asterisk from order. So it is saying that I am using the wrong syntax. So let's use this SQL query to print the table, and as you can see, so we have to use order.order because order is also a database, so we need to use this database then table. So you can see our table has been updated. Let me apply. We have to apply first of all to add the third row again. So let me add the fourth row as well. So friends, I have already added the 4 row here. Now let's print the table again, and as you can see 4 row has been added into our table, which is order. So yeah, that's how you can create a table in MySQL Workbench. I hope you like it. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section, and you can find the full tutorial on MySQL in the playlist I have already created, and I will update all the video as soon as possible. So see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.